Welcome back to LegCo Election Forum. Our debate session will begin again with a new question. I would like to ask you, concerning Kaifeng 2 coming back to Hong Kong, there would be sufficient support offered by the government to this daily protesters' vote. What do you think is appropriate assistance? Do you think that CY Leung has gained points or lost points in handling this incident? Who would like to answer? If there is no response, we have to start a new question. Please think about it. Number 3, the LSD says that without protesting, there will be no improvement. We do not believe in Mr. Leung, so we will continue to fight for the wholesomeness of our territory on our own. I don't know about Mr. Leung, but I think the Communist Party has lost points because they spend all their energy on internal stabilization. We need to protect our territory. This is the responsibility of the entire nation. If it's left to the community, it shows that China is incapable and unwilling to protect our home. And what about FTU and DAB? What have you done concerning protecting Diaoyu Island? Well, I think the Chinese government has been very ambiguous about protecting Diaoyu Islands. The true patriots have gone to protect the islands. And we also have a member coming back on Wednesday. We admire the protection work offered by the community, and I think the government should offer its assistance. In handling the Diaoyu Island issues, I have something to say about the Chinese government. Since the Japanese people have gone on to the islands to enforce the law, we can adopt a firmer position. We support community-led Diaoyu protection work. There should be more assistance by Mr. Leung. Concerning the measures offered by the government, do you think that something can be done so that we can have a policy reference? Should police officers be allowed to abort the ship to intercept? Number 8, my view is that Hong Kong government should put the highest priority as Hong Kong itself. While the northeastern part of NT has been ceded to non-local residents, I don't think the local government should spend time or resources to address this issue. Police officers should not obstruct the people trying to protect Diaoyu Islands. They should offer assistance instead, because the government is too lazy to do this. Any policy and measure should be open and just and transparent, including our right to go to the sea and also express our views on our sovereignty. The government should provide assistance to people returning from the trip. I would like to raise a second question. In Kowloon East, there are many industrial buildings. When we develop them, the rental level seems to be rising, and many art groups are feeling the pressure. How can we resolve this situation? Number 2, when industrial buildings are opened up, I don't think the government has thought this through. And at the end, some big landlords took the opportunity to make the big bucks. I think the government should proactively support the art groups. We should offer some allowance to them so that when the rental level is high, they can continue to develop the culture of art. We support revitalizing industrial buildings. In fact, in the past, the vacancy rate of these buildings have been very high. We need to fully utilize the resources. It is very important. Many industries are facing high rental level. We have to resolve this together. But this is a matter of the private market. Chan Kam Lam, you do not just support revitalizing industrial buildings leading to rental increases. You also support the take-off of Kowloon East. Do you really support the big landlords or the commercial sector? In order to encourage revitalization of industrial buildings, we need to remove the red tapes and offer rental concessions or tax concessions. Well, the government talks about supporting creative industries, but they are encouraging big landlords through revitalization. So the government is inconsistent. To develop industrial buildings, we have to remove the issue of subdivided flats. Many of these vacant units have been turned into subdivided flats and rented out. Just like the squatter areas in Hong Kong in the past, we have to deal with this first. Revitalizing industrial buildings is going to promote economic development and create new jobs. Well, put it in a nutshell, the government should proactively deal with real estate hash money so that we can suppress the rental level. We can talk about taking off of Kowloon East or revitalization. You are just benefiting all the big landlords and developers. Let's not listen to Chen Kam Lam anymore. Number 8, your time is up. I'll start another question concerning second-hand HOS flats with a premium waived, leading to rising rental level. Do you think that is a good measure or a bad measure? I think we should construct HOS flats because once the construction is resumed, to be honest, if there are no old flats and new flats and they're equally expensive, I will choose the new ones. When there are sufficient HOS flats, people cannot speculate, leading to the rises in property prices of HOS flats. I think the government has not thought this through before taking action, and they have not spelled out clearly this year or next year how many units will be constructed. The major problem is that the government has not got a good policy of resumption of construction. Any policies or measures should balance people's interests. We need to consider the resumption of construction, but we have to be careful. Revitalization should focus on leasing out, not selling. Time's up. I think the government should be careful and cautious before they launch a policy. Thank you. I think actually this whole issue is because of our detached property prices. Let's not talk about suppressing the prices and how that's going to hurt Hong Kong. The level is simply too high. No one can really afford any flats. So we need to resume construction of HOS flats and provide more PRH flats. Thank you. That's the end of the Q&A session. We're going to move into gifting and free debate. Each team will have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to speak. Let's invite 1 to 4 to present the gifts. Number 1, please. Dear elderly people, we have brought this gift to you. This is a $2,200 higher OH allowance. If you have seen me on the street, you would say, oh, this government is so mean. Once it's been increased to $2,200, we have to go through the means test. I agree. That's why I undertake that if I return to LegCo, we will fight for non-means tested allowance so that you can enjoy all your meals. Dear citizens, we have this standard working hour dot. This is a dot to promote self-improvement. Many youngsters are complaining that they don't have time to improve themselves. I have another dot to promote harmony inside the families so that people have time to spend with their families after work. This is another dot to fight for overtime compensation. This is a boomerang to promote sufficient rest. My gift is for the DAB. You always talk about you are sincere in protecting Hong Kong. I think you're selling out Hong Kong. On Link REIT issue, in 7 years' time, we have lost 48.7 billion. On MTRC, you supported their listing as well. In 5 years' time, they earned our money, 59.6 billion. And you also wanted to remove the capping arrangement for PRH flats. Each unit have to pay another 140, so I want to get the money back. We would like to present our election platform to everyone in Hong Kong and also our government. We want to say no to education of lies, corruption, Hong Kong land for Hong Kong people, and restrict doubly non-permanent resident children. The CY Leung administration has been talking about so many things, but we have to focus on this, especially the education of lies. It is totally biased curriculum for our children. We have to restore it. And also, the doubly non-permanent resident children. We're talking about those children already obtaining the benefits. They should not have the right to do it. We have been working so hard, and they're enjoying all the benefits created by us. We have to stop all the benefits to them. They can live here, but they can no longer obtain any medical benefits and other benefits unless they pay for these services. We also need to put a stop to the transportation concessions to these children as well. Thank you, number 1 to number 4. Thank you for your gifts. They are all very politically meaningful. Let's start our free debate. Would you like to respond to the 4 gifts presented? Right now, 60% of the Hong Kong people object to the brainwashing national education, mainly because such education requires identifying the foundation of recognition in different areas. At the same time, we have to embrace the ideas that Liu Xiaobo is subversive or no one died during the June 4th massacre. I would like to ask Chen Kam-lam, before the 3rd of September, will DAB support the withdrawal of this national education? We will not support the withdrawal. Actually, we see that right now, this government policy allows 3 years for us to formulate the content. And I trust that teachers will not, as Mr. Allen Leung has said, that they will brainwash the children. Well, this is the position of the DAB concerning this brainwashing education. I have a question for Chen Kam-lam. Can you answer the 3 questions about Link REIT? More than 40 billion left, and MTRC more than 50 billion left, and every PRH flat has to pay another $140. Why do you support these? Well, how can you say that the money has been lost? Well, you can refer to the annual reports. You are a LegCo member. I'm sure you understand how to read a financial report. That is the money they have earned. Well, MTRC belongs to Hong Kong people. I'm sorry, why do they make money every year? And then they still increase the fare level. They're making 14.7 billion per year. Will DAB offer the extra money to the people in Hong Kong? Didn't you support the listing? Listed companies have to make a profit. Thank you. Let's see you after the break.